Best to strike while the iron is hot. So I just finished building the final exam video, and now I'm going to talk about today's activity, which is a critical reading and presentation planning assignment. And now the reason why this should be important for us is because today's assignment essentially is going to set you up for one of the sections on the final exam. All right, so let's take a look at the worksheet for today. So as we can see at the top, it's telling us that it is a critical reading and critical thinking activity. And in particular, you're focusing on comparison and contrast. That's helping us to build our analytical toolkit. And there's a reading connection point here. This is where our skills intersect. So as we know, this class is called Foundations for Success in Reading and Presenting for University Classes. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So our goal today is for you to read these two short historical stories. Then you're going to analyze them for similarities and differences. Finally, you'll fill in the T-chart below to track those similarities and differences. Now, here we go. Let's get a little bit more into detail. These two historical shorts have been adapted from this really cool book called The Greatest Stories Never Told, and the author's name is Rick Baer. It was published in 2003, and the publishing body is the History Channel. So that tells us that there's a fairly good chance that the material here is valid and credible, because obviously the History Channel wouldn't be able to do their business if they didn't get the facts right about history. So both of these historical shorts are episodes from over 100 years ago, and you're going to be reading them trying to tease out how they are similar and how they are different. The first one is called Telephone Tale, and in the original book it would be on pages 90 and 94 and 95. It took place in the year 1860, so over 100 years ago, as I mentioned. And it's just 2 pages, this little chunk of information. And then we have our second historical short story, and the title of that one is called The Gun Meant to Save Lives. And that is would be found on pages 96 and 97 in the original text, and it took place in the year 1861. So you can see that it's a very short selection of text that you're going to be reading. So you read both of those, then you can use your annotation skills to highlight key points. In particular, you're looking for similarities and differences today. So that's where the connection point here is. You're going to take your reading and you're going to translate it into a presentation. Just the planning aspect. You don't have to present today, but you're just showing me that you can use your creative thinking and use all of the skills connectively that we've built over the course of the last 12 weeks. So this is the next stage here, this presentation planning task. So after you've read and analyzed the stories, you fill in the T-chart with your insightful discovery of these similarities and differences. That's the critical analysis stage, right? Then you're going to translate all of that good thinking into an insightful OSP outline. So if we go down below, this is where you would build your outline at the bottom. So it's fairly straightforward, it's fairly direct, but the reason that you need to focus and dial yourself in on this activity is because on the final exam next week, there'll be something very similar to this. It won't be the same material, obviously, it'll be something else, but this will be one of those sections. So kind of as I pointed out, let me just save this as I made some little editing corrections there, and I'll actually update this to the website. Okay, so as you notice, that third section, create a presentation outline, now we kind of understand where that's going to be, what that's going to be like. So you'll have to do these 2 short readings, you're going to have to analyze them through a certain lens, and then from that you're going to very quickly have to be nimble on your feet, thinking and working hard to create one of those old school presentation outlines. Wonderful, wonderful. So that's your task for this evening. And your homework for this weekend, we might as well cover that off now while we're here. The homework for this weekend, 1, complete the critical reading task. You can be ready to have your presentations submitted next Tuesday. You will submit your outline next Tuesday. Good. And then number 2, you should start your review cycle for the final exam. Okay, so we are really close to being done. This is our last kind of day of complete instruction. As I mentioned, next Tuesday will be a review day. I'll be providing some sort of a review game or activity or package. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will create it over the weekend. So this is it, guys. We're almost to the end of our epic journey together. I also just wanted to say that I've really enjoyed working with this group. You guys have been energetic. You've really done your best to push through this different semester, and I think you should be happy with the work that you've done. It hasn't been easy, but I definitely think we've all learned a whole ton together. So thank you for your hard work. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys, or you will hear me one way or the other on Tuesday.